Well, the Rays did the job. They took a series, taking 2 out of 3 against another Bay team from the West Coast, that is.
The Battle of the Bays, and guess what? Tampa Bay came out on top. Let's discuss it starting right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Well, it is a Monday episode, so let's get through what happened over the course of a wild, busy weekend, starting with Sunday's game, which ended fortunately for the Rays, 9-4 win over the Fighting Blake Snells, and it was a busy afternoon if you work for the Rays or involved with the Rays, because not only is Blake Snell coming back to town and all the hijinks with that, but Dave Wills, there was a tribute for him. He was officially enshrined into the Rays Hall of Fame. It was Dog Day at the park, giveaways galore. There was a lot going on, and the Rays still figured a way to pull out the victory.
A lot of things were happening on that Sunday game, for sure. Awesome to see the induction of Dave Wills. That was pretty cool. The giveaway, just on point. We've talked about it. That was just the perfect thing to do. The game itself, what a tremendous response to Saturday's clunker. And I know we're going to
we'll get to Saturday's clunker. I think maybe the first official clunker of the year for the Rays. We've had some clunker adjacents.
I believe so. Yeah, this one gets the medal for the first one. But we're not talking about Saturday right now. We're talking about Sunday. And Sunday's game is now being dubbed. I just getting breaking news from Manfred. It's called the Pinto game. It is now being called the Pinto game. 2 bombs, one a 3-run shot that basically opened the game. And you know those moments in every game where you're like, okay, this team's probably gonna win it. That was it for the Rays yesterday. Like that 3-run shot was just like, boom, okay, we got this in the bag. And what a good thing from Pinto to do, because we have talked about last week with Klosky, he was saying from the get-go he was C1, but you can be C1 starting the season like Bethancourt was in 2023 and then lose it. You have to keep producing no matter what the expectations were coming in, and he hasn't produced that much so far. To have a game like this, hopefully it can give him the momentum to keep going, because Rordvet is doing his thing. So if he keeps doing his thing, like now you have a competition, which is great. But if you want Pinto to succeed, yesterday was a tremendous first step.
Yeah, it's not like Pinto's on a long-term contract or anything, and there's competition afoot seemingly in the minor leagues. But that was a good way to get some of that off his back. 3-2 pitch, hitting the batter's eye off Blake Snell. Like, that is a demoralizing moment for Blake Snell, and you can see it in his emotions when he leans down and folds over. And it was just a game where the Rays really did exactly what they wanted to off the 2-time Cy Young Award winner. Like, seemingly good pitches. It was just the Rays were finding a way to contort their backs and reach down and make contact or get out in front, whether it was a changeup or a breaking ball, and just find a hole, just put bat to ball. That was really the modus operandi. And then in Pinto's case, launching a home run as well. And then we had earlier on Ahmed Rosario getting a line drive home run off a changeup as well, which really put the Rays in solid footing with a 3-1 lead. I mean, it's you look at entering this series and you say, well, the Giants have Logan Webb in one game and they have Blake Snell in another game. It's going to be tough. As much as the Giants are struggling, as much as they, I think, entered the series on a 6-7 game homerless streak of all things, that for them to, the Rays should really take this and put it on their mantle as we took down 2 well-known high-profile pitchers in one series.
Not only that, but they still are not playing their quality of baseball.
Yeah. And let me rephrase it like this. The Rays did not take down Logan Webb. They won a series against you won a series with 2 of those guys on the mound.
You already saw
that 3-game series.
You already saw the snide comments coming your way.
Yeah, I wanted to get in front of that as best as possible.
Hey, you got in front of it. Not unlike the Paredes play yesterday, he kind of olayed that one.
Yeah, it was from what my vantage point up in the 300s, it was a pretty hard hit ball, which speaks to, I mean, I feel like the Rays were doing everything they could to not let Kevin Kelly have a good, satisfying outing, because balls were just getting by Curtis Mead, Ahmed Rosario, letting that triple go by. And there was almost a no man's land, 3 guys colliding in the outfield between Goodrum, Rosarena, and I guess it would have been Paredes there. It was like, man, what else has to go here for Kevin Kelly to close it out?
But you know what? They did. But going back to the production from Ahmed Rosario, I was looking into this. I was like, okay, like, when did he start getting hot? And the last 6 times that Ahmed Rosario has taken at bats in a game, he has gotten hits. The last 6 games that he's actually had at bats, not as a defensive replacement. He's 11 for 26.
Okay.
With 1 home run, 5 RBI. And when this started, he had a batting average of 167. He's currently hitting at 306. And when it started, he was at an OPS of 489. And now he's at a 750 OPS. Ahmed Rosario is heating up. Which is great to see. I know that we've talked about, not the backlog, but maybe with guys coming back. You know, you're talking about Jonathan Aranda, Johnny DeLuca, Josh Lowe, Taylor Walls. Like those 4 names were names that we were projecting to be in the opening day roster. And they're hurt, but they have to come back. If they come back, when they come back.
Right.
Ahmed Rosario has been a name that we've floated as like, okay, this could be a possibility because it's $1.5 million. You're not building around Rosario, but what he has done with the glove mostly has been satisfying. The fact that you can move him in and out of the infield and outfield, fantastic. But if this is going to be a guy that's going to be sitting around 750 OPS, it's going to be very difficult to take him out of the lineup, no matter who's coming back, because that's a starter. A 750 OPS guy is a starter, should be a starter.
No, I'm with you. I mean, he's an established major league player, and it befuddles a lot of people why in the offseason he didn't get a 2-year, $12 million, $14 million deal, just based on how the market is going and whatever ties into that. So, hey, keep doing what you're doing. If he keeps performing like this, you can't just take him out of the lineup unless you're able to trade him and get some value for him. So just keep doing what you're doing there, and we appreciate it. So, so it was a great win for the Rays. I will be curious to see how Blake Snell's how his track goes with the Giants. Is he on is it a short-term deal? I can't recall.
2 years, 63 mil.
Okay. Yeah.
Something like that. It's 6 on the 62, 63. I think he's getting paid 31 this year.
Okay. Well, it doesn't look like it based on what we've seen early on from him.
It is so, this is the Blake Snell 30-second a bit.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks, obviously, that he's performing this way. But, I mean, did we expect anything else? I mean, the guy didn't really have a spring training at all.
Yeah, you don't have a spring training and you have to rear up like that. And it seems like Snell, he'll have that Cy Young year. Once every 5 years, we can bank on it. And then there's always a year or two in between where the wheels quasi come off. Like, I feel like this is going to be a season where his ERA hovers around, 4.3, 4.4. And we've sort of seen that in his past.
Yeah, he has. And he'll be a tour kind of guy when he's at his worst, which, it's fine. But when you're paying $31 million, that's not fine. That's like, damn, that's a lot of wasted resources there. But hopefully for Blake's sake, we always wish him good luck. So hopefully he gets that better. But we were lucky to face him early in the season when he doesn't have that much, time getting warmed up as he would.
That is a good point. And also kudos to the Rays, Sean Armstrong and Tyler Alexander for getting through 8 innings combined. I do like that combination of the hard throwing Armstrong versus the soft tossing Alexander. And I think having a little bit of an early lead certainly helped things going on there. Alexander did give up a lot of hits, but he also had some strikeouts and was able to limit the damage throughout.
Yeah, and righty-lefty combo, we love that from the opener and then the bulk guy. So, no, I like that combination a lot.
Yes. All right, we have more to discuss. Got to talk about Saturday and Friday as well. But first, we have to tell you all something important, and that is this: passion, drive, and patience. That is the formula for winning championships. It's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and so much more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you are looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or your money is returned to you. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber and not cashola. So with all the parts you need at the prices you definitely want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. So, very important. Listen closely here. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers. So we're sorry to our listeners in Australia, Afghanistan, Canada, all over the place. So eBay, eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. There we go.
Kevin, I've been told I'm a competitive person. What do you think about that statement?
I would say very competitive.
Very competitive.
In terms of trivia, video games, baseball knowledge, all that.
I think so. I think you're right. And I think we all might have a little bit of our competitive side. And for me, my competitive side is a big fan of Monopoly Go. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. That's as many times as we've cheered for the Rays. Okay. It's a great twist on Monopoly where you play on not one, but hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations, building up amazing cities that bring you big money. But the best part is messing with your buddies, your friends, right? You can charge them rent on iconic properties like classic Monopoly, but you can also rob their vaults of riches for yourself. And for me, it's not my competitive side that loves it. You can team up with friends and people all around the world in timed tournaments to earn huge rewards, get friends on the screen all around the globe. That is such a cool idea that we can do in 2024. So today, get in the game and join your friends. Download Monopoly Go, now free on the App Store or Google Play today.
All right. Getting to Saturday's game, which was a disaster, to say the least. I'm glad I was at Universal during the course of that action. I checked in on the Bally Sports app on my phone and saw the score. I was like, okay, glad I didn't miss much. Glad I didn't try to make an effort to attend this game because it was ugly. As we mentioned, probably officially in the record book, the Rays' first true clunker this year. There were some clunker adjacent games against the Blue Jays and Angels, but you're in true clunker territory where you win and where you have a position player pitching the final outs of the game when Ben Rortvedt stepped up to the plate and assisted with finishing that when he's throwing 85 mile an hour fastballs and 45 mile an hour ephus pitches or whatever those were to try to get the final outs there. But not much to love about this game. Look, Pepio, I do really like Pepio. I like his repertoire. I like his talent. I like his changeup. I like his fastball. And I think it was just a case of you make 2-3 mistakes, mislocations, and the Giants capitalized on it as best as possible with the Estrada home run and the Wade home run. And hopefully it's something that you can learn from and grow from, and know that, can't give those up with runners on or 2 strikes or 2 outs, and just got to change the location just a tad on those.
Yeah, and overall, I agree with you. I like the stuff. I like what he can do. With the 2 home runs, only 5 hits allowed. So that means he was doing his job, only allowing 1 walk, but the key hits happened when you probably shouldn't have let them. But look, I feel like with Ryan Pepiot, it's kind of like the Tosh Bradley of last year. Like, you just have to let it go. You just have to roll with the punches. And at times it's not going to be pretty. It's not like it's going to be a game like Saturday where you're going to be behind the 8 ball and you're going to have to deal with it. And hopefully your offense can come through. And if it doesn't, it could become a clunker. Like, those are the games, Tosh Bradley had many of those games where he can be effective for 4 innings. And in the 5th, boom, the wheels come off. Like,
right.
This necessarily didn't happen with Pepiot, but like overall the line was kind of like that. And I think that's just going to happen with young pitchers. And if you want them to become good, if you want them to hopefully one day become your ace of the staff or a top of the rotation arm, you got to let it go. I mean, Tyler Glasnow became the ace of the staff, right? Your number 1 guy last year, with Eflin. And if we go back to 2018, my goodness, I remember one game where he started against the Jays and the dude got rocked for like 6 runs in the 1st inning in 2018. You gotta let Tyler Glasnow experience that. So now he's shoving with the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
You gotta let Pepiot just run the string on him. Don't get worried about it. But yeah, it was definitely not a pretty start by Pepiot.
No, it wasn't. And look, the Rays weren't able to do much offensively off Logan Webb either. Infield slow choppers and ground ball double plays, that's just not going to get it done. I think they were 1 for 6 runners in scoring position, left 7 on base. And, it was a 2-sided coin there with the reasoning for the loss. And then if the Rays had any hope of trying to come back and battle in that game, that was all lost when Chris Davinsky was put in the game, where his strategy, I feel like, was just, all right, I'm going to throw elevated fastballs. Okay, that elevated fastball gets hit. I'm just going to elevate it higher. That elevated fastball is going to get hit. Okay, top of the zone, as high as humanly possible, as long as the catcher can get. Nope, that's still going to get hit as well. Everything was getting tattooed off Davinsky.
Yeah. Not a pretty day. Again, when you have a clunker, all your pitchers are probably going to get tattooed. Davinsky got tattooed. Pepiot got beat around a little bit. I don't know. Do you think any clunker experience here for the pitching staff is going to determine ups or downs within the roster spot, or do you think it's a one-off and that's it?
Oh, as far as call-ups and demotions?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Like with
Davinsky
in particular, or somebody else?
Is Davinsky safe?
I don't think Davinsky's safe.
Waguespack, is he safe?
Well, wasn't Waguespack already sent down?
He was, but I mean that mostly
that was a procedural move.
Yeah, because of the innings.
Yeah. Look, I'm not 100% sure that, or 100% confident that Davinsky's on this team in October. I'll just leave it like that.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think one outing totally dictates what happens to you, but we see it all the time with the Rays. I mean, even a guy that has a good outing, just based on how the roster is built, they get DFA'd the next day.
True.
So
true.
But Davinsky is on isn't he making, $1.2 million, give or take?
Yeah, about $1 million. I think less than Rosario, but more than $1 million. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer of a leash, but I'll tell you this, like I don't have a lot of confidence in Davinsky. There's a lot of other bullpen arms I'd rather be watching at this point.
Yeah.
But when it's, if it's already Look, there's going to be, we basically pencil it in. What is the average for a good Rays season? Like, even when they win 99 to 100 games, there's going to be probably at least a half dozen clunkers, correct?
100%.
So, that happens.
Honestly, maybe this is the first season out of the 5 that we've done the pod where we need to count clunkers. We need a clunker.
Let's do an over
counter.
under. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm thinking there's going to be 8 or more clunkers this year. That's what I'll set the over under on.
Yeah, I think that's. I'd go slightly lower at like 6 or 7. I'd go
Okay.
under.
So let's set it at 7.5. I'll
Okay.
take the over. You take the under.
Yeah.
And we'll place it on the prop bet board.
There you go. I like that. And you guys can keep us honest on the YouTube comments by saying, no, this is clunker number 3.
Yeah.
This is clunker number 2. But this is the first clunker that we've had thus far.
Yes, that is fair. What about you? Where do you think Davinsky lands?
I'm with you. I don't think that he has any sort of like mainstay role. Like, I think Armstrong has a more solid space. Obviously Fairbanks, obviously Adam, and I would put Maton just because of the financials. I mean, you gotta put the money in. The money matters, like Klosky said last week. And you know who's being a sneaky mainstay and a friend of the pod? Colin Poche.
Yeah.
He's still going strong. So I'd put those 5 names above Davinsky. And guess what? There are guys going to be knocking the door, like Manuel Rodriguez. He wants to get in there.
Right.
There are guys. Jacob Lopez.
I think there's too many guys knocking on the door, and the volatility of relievers. It's not like, we have to keep Chris Davinsky around.
Correct.
Nothing about Davinsky we've seen so far says, oh my gosh, love to have him in the bullpen. So I think that might answer a question there. All right, we'll briefly get to what happened in Friday's game, but first we have to tell you this. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. Whether you're a seasoned investor or are looking for that extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data you need in one place. They are the #1 finance destination, producing a holistic look at the financial news cycle, including breaking news, original editorial perspectives, analyst ratings, independent research, customizable charts, and so much more. So you can securely link your brokerage accounts for a unified view of your wealth, including 401k and other investments. A comprehensive perspective at what sets apart great investors, and to Yahoo Finance ensures you have the insight to look at your wealth in its entirety. So for more comprehensive on a Monday, I'm having trouble reading. It was a long weekend. Bear with me. For comprehensive financial news and analysis, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com. They are the #1 financial destination. yahoofinance.com. I'll repeat it again. That is yahoofinance.com. All right, going to Friday's game, nail-biting victory. Look, over the course of 162, you have to find ways to win in multiple avenues and areas and ways, and toughing it out to get it done, and that's what the Rays did on Friday, thanks to Yandy Diaz, thanks to Ahmed Rosario, thanks to Harold Ramirez and his Hustlin' Harry, and Pete Fairbanks getting the save, even with some trouble there as well.
This was, if Saturday game was the first clunker game, this was the first Houdini act by the Rays pitching staff.
Yeah.
To get away, and I don't know how that game. Look, you can be we can be Rays fans, but can we just like take off the Rays hat for a second here? Everybody listening, everybody watching, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Help us out. It really helps us out. Thank you. Take off the Rays hat, and let's be honest here. That game was not for the Rays to win. The Rays had no business winning that game.
Yeah.
That pitching staff, the Rays received 8 hard hit balls, 6 walks. There was a runner on third in the 9th to tie the game. I mean, the lead is at the plate.
Yeah.
Like so many.
Actually, credit to the Giants for coming back and laid on the Rays the day after, because that is the type of game that can just totally put you in the ground and say, I mean, we just can't win.
Yeah.
And they've been, and the Giants have been struggling this year too.
They have been. The Saturday game basically was what you would have expected on Friday.
Yeah.
It just seemed like that's the kind of game that should have been, performed by the Giants, and yet, the Rays come out with the win, which is fantastic. You got to steal those games. And I know people are going to be poo-pooing that attitude because it's like, oh, whatever, it's an April game. Like, we've seen enough baseball that if you start collecting W's, which the Rays have started to collect W's, you get the series win against the Rockies. You get the series win against Anaheim. Then you get the series win against the Giants. I'm missing one though.
Yeah. Well,
what was the earlier series? What was the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I'm missing one. Anaheim. No.
That's who they played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right?
Yeah, so Anaheim. So, it's been Anaheim twice.
Yeah, and they got Anaheim again this coming week.
Yeah, you're right. Look, I think it speaks to this team how you're not playing your best ball and you're still collecting those W's. Those W's right now matter a ton because you don't know what you're going to have. I mean, and you still don't have your full team.
Right.
So you don't have a full team and you're still getting W's. I think it's great, but it was a very funky game on Friday where I don't think that if deserve actually mattered in a ball game, which it doesn't, the Rays did not deserve to win that game.
Yeah. Well, the fact that Fairbanks, too, not to call him out exclusively, but leadoff walk, stolen base, runner advances, runner on third, and Fairbanks, like several other members of the bullpen, have had their issues. And just based on a mathematical formula, the Rays used 6 different pitchers. That's 6 different opportunities for wacky, wild mistakes. And one guy, like you've said before, one guy being off, just not being his day, and totally ruining the train. I mean, in another sense, it makes it more difficult for the Giants. You have different looks and arm angles and velocities, and it's just, having to. That's why 3 times through the order is a theme versus, you face one guy once a game. But still, when you bring in that many different bodies, it was to say, Phil Maton didn't have a cold earlier on the day, or he's at 85%. I mean, so many things can go wrong when you bring in that number of guys.
Yeah, I mean, for example, Maton just threw 3 pitches, but he gets an out. That's awesome. Garrett Clevenger, 3 strikeouts, but 2 walks in an inning and 2/3. Jacob Waguespack does his job. 4 innings, 4 hits allowed, only 1 run, but then he gets 5 hard hit balls in 4 innings. So you're expecting that production if you're a San Francisco Giants fan to be there. It wasn't. So no, the whole pitching staff really did a great job here to just kind of neutralize it somehow. Somehow they did. And that combination of that many pitchers can, like you said, it just one guy can derail the whole thing, and they all came through. But yeah, Pete keeps making things a little bit too interesting. Yeah. I don't want my closer to make things interesting. I want my closer to be the most boring guy ever.
Yeah.
I want him to be the color beige. I want him to be the color gray. Just nothing. But
clean
Pete,
1, 2, 3. That's all we need. Get it done in 13 pitches.
But Pete is like, nah. I want to induce anxiety to you. Yeah. I want to raise your high blood pressure. So we got to talk to Pete. Like, why do you do this to us?
Yeah. We want to ground out to short. We want to pop fly to center. We want to strike out. That's how it should be for the closer.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, all right. Look, the Rays took 2 of 3. Can't complain about that. They have now a 4-game series, I believe, against the Los Angeles Angels again. So hopefully the Rays kick butt there. We'll have more to talk about. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.